Hey folks, it's Maxie here and welcome to another TEW2020 video. You join us on the road to Fighter Fest as we continue to have some fun with AEW and continue to try build new stars and give some much needed competition to the WWE. I'm hoping that over the course of the 4 weeks build for the pay-per-view we can get a lot of the storylines over. So you will see over the course of time maybe wrestlers that performed on the last show not performing here, just to progress as many of the storylines as possible. But anyway, without further ado, we've got a show book. Let's crack on. This is Dynamite for the second week of September 2021. So this week's show is in Idaho. We're at the Holt Arena. Usual pre-show matches with a rematch from a match on Dynamite last week as Priscilla Kelly takes a defeat again to Chris Statlander in 9:22, 47 rated match with both women having the same level of performance. We then had a bout that had terrible wrestling and non-existent crowd heat as with Orange Cassidy defeat Kip Sabian in 9:20 with a super kick. This was 64. A 73 performance from Orange Cassidy, a 39 from Kip Sabian, and he was really off his game as well, but a good match up to kind of showcase both guys' talents and put on a decent match. We had the Dark Order's Evil Uno and Stu Grayson pick up the win over the makeshift team, which somehow has ended up with excellent chemistry of Austin Gunn and Brandon Cutler, and we had Evil Uno pin Austin Gunn with the pump handle pile driver. A 53, good win for the Dark Order. Back to the drawing board for Austin Gunn and Brandon Cutler, a makeshift tag team that might do things in the future. And we had Cassie and Yuka Sakazaki in action, and Cassie picks up the win in 9:49 with the Hurricane Rana. It was a 50 rated matchup, a good 57 performance from Cassie, a 28 from Yuka Sakazaki, and that leads us into our main event, I believe, for Dark. And it was poor, despite a 74 rating, as with Kenny Omega defeat Ricky Starks in 12:56 with a one-winged angel. 74 overall, 86 from Omega, 43 from Ricky Starks. But that's the kind of matches that can really propel him. More likely when it's on actual television rather than a dark match, but a good showcase for him. And a good win for Kenny Omega. So we start Dynamite with Cody in the ring. He says we've got some more signings coming every so often. There's going to be a big acquisition to the women's division, and that's coming up real soon. Mick Foley comes out and says, "You're right, Cody, I've been speaking to Tony Khan and there's even been wrestlers that you haven't been told about. So we're ever expanding this roster because I have no willpower, it seems, when someone becomes available." Mick confirms that tonight in the main event we're going to see Cody in action. He's going to team up with the Young Bucks, so the Elite in action. And they're going to face on the team of Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix, the Lucha Brothers, and an unnamed debuting tag team partner, so that should be a big one in the main event. Will say I'm delighted with the 100 segment though. That puts less pressure on that main event. But yeah, just Mick Foley doing his job. You're saying here sometimes Tony Khan keeps things secret, and this is who he's brought in. You'll see tonight. Opening contest was that matchup that we had made apparent last week, and even though of his steroid scandal that we couldn't send him into rehab for, Brian Pillman Jr. picked up the win over AJ Styles in 14:26 with a surprise roll-up. This was a 66 rating, 58 for Pillman, 68 for AJ. Pillman off his game. Now you're wondering why would they make this move so soon? AJ is willing to put Brian Pillman Jr. over twice in 2 months, so I was going to do one on Dynamite and, spoiler, one on pay-per-view. But as I say, that's how you kind of need to propel Pillman Jr. straight off the start when they're getting these offers from the phenomenal AJ Styles. In a decent matchup, we had Miro defeat Lance Archer in 5:58 by submission using Game Over. 70 rated matchups, the two good brawlers putting on a good match here, but it was just to give Miro some more momentum and no real storyline attached to this one. We then had though a backstage situation where we had the new AEW Women's Champion Toni Storm attacked by Abaddon. Abaddon then throws Toni Storm into a car, which then speeds off, so we don't know what the demon is doing here, Abaddon, but she's pretty much just abducted Toni Storm. So that's going to be an interesting development as we go ahead with a 58 rated segment. Also in the women's division, with Shayna Baszler defeat Anna Jay in 255 with the armbar. At 54, so obviously it was going to be a case of Shayna just destroying the start of the show and giving obviously Anna Jay some exposure on Dynamite. We then had a backstage segment, and it was a case of Mr. Brody Lee alongside Silver, Allen, Kelly, Uno and Grayson. In this situation he basically just says well done to Uno and Grayson for their victory on Dark. Priscilla, we need to figure out what the hell is wrong with you. Look what that Abaddon's done, she's absolutely crazy. We need a bit of crazy from you going forward. So it's just basically him rounding the troops here, trying to get into their heads just to really get them over. But at 59, and obviously Darby Allin and Brody Lee have been doing, John Silver, have been doing fantastic things that Mr. Brody Lee is certainly happy with. Then at the matchup, we had the return of Jon Moxley, and a superb matchup with Jon Moxley defeat Jake Hager in 14-13 with the Death Rider. This was an 80, there was a lack of psychology, and Moxley was off his game, although both guys with great chemistry, which boosted our match. Happy with that, didn't expect it to do as well as that, but Moxley picks up the win, so we can set up his brand new programme, because after the matchup, while Hager's recovering, it's a 3-on-1 beatdown from Sammy Guevara, Santana and Ortiz. So the Inner Circle has a problem again with Moxley. It's not Chris Jericho, of course, he's now no longer with the Inner Circle, but Sammy Guevara stepping up to the task, setting up a potential feud with Jon Moxley. But a 78 there, and Moxley was a real star in the segment. We then had a matchup that had Wardlow and MJF defeat Private Party in 14-20, when MJF pinned Isaiah Cassidy with a Swanton Bomb thanks to interference from Ricky Starks. So they were on the phone last week to someone. Have we just found out who that person was? But at 74, it just shows though that there's so many guys that could potentially have main event matches, which is going to allow us to rotate wrestlers, and at the end of the day it means in Dynamite we can effectively rest people, so maybe get a bit more of a tenure from them. So that's good to know that a lot of people can compete for main event spots. But 62-61 for Cassidy and Quen, 61 for Wardlow and 87 for MJF, and of course that's with Quen and Wardlow off their game. But delighted with that, and a good win for the heel team here. And after the matchup we get a few words from MJF and Wardlow, just basically saying we always look for someone with class and style, and we felt like someone that just is pretty much just like MJF. That's what we need around here, and that man is absolute Ricky Starks. They all stand there, smirks on their faces. I don't have a faction name for them at the time of recording this, but eventually we will, and that's a 78 rated segment. I felt like if we want to get Ricky Starks over, getting him in with MJF is only going to give him so much exposure. So delighted with that. Colt Cabana loses to Killer Kross in 8:28. Killer Kross's debut on Dynamite was just an opportunity to get him some momentum, and a 62 rated matchup. Not the best, but a good win regardless. Before he has some words for Chris Jericho, just reiterating the fact that he's here to make a statement, he's here to make a name off of Chris Jericho and propel himself into Dynamite, the AEW World Title contention. And we then had our main event for the evening, and it was about the great wrestling and good heat, and it was Tommy End who made his debut, and he joined up with the Lucha Brothers as they defeated the Elite in 21-42 when Ray Phoenix pinned Nick Jackson with a Meteora. Tommy End was the weak link here, believe it or not, with 71. Everybody else had fantastic performances. He debuted the badass gimmick at great. You can see just through the list of performances, 86 for Nick, 82 for Matt, 94 for Cody, and 85 and 83 for each of the Lucha Bros. We are going to go all in a Ray Phoenix push. I want to try and get him into that main event scene properly. Captain 82, I think it was probably because of commentary, because we were over the 20-minute mark, which would have allowed for a special show, a special matchup with good rating. Yeah, just inconsistencies in the colour commentary. That's going to develop over time. Hopefully we'll get away from that. And we finished the show with Ray Phoenix just absolutely smashing Cody's face in. Probably just say he gave him a crimson mask there. with a ladder, so that's a 79 rated segment to end the show. We're probably going to go Cody versus Rey Fenix again, and the result might change. Overall, rating was an 84, popularity gains in 47 regions, but I think we're starting to see now that we probably do need more shows and more time. But I don't want to book 3 hour Dynamites every week, that's just going to be soul destroying, but we're doing it slowly but surely. We'll try to propel more people at the upper mid card and main event, so when we go to 2 shows, we'll be able to utilise talents and still give people time off basically. So like for something like Chris Jericho might only need to wrestle once a month, or maybe 2, one Dynamite and then once on the event itself. But anyways, we head back here. We've got Dynamite had 11,000 fans, 5,000 at NXT, and 8,000 at Ring of Honor, and just not really much to cover. 11k drug testing and a 2.91 television rating. Hopefully this month our finances get a bit better, but we'll certainly watch what we're doing with the show costs. I don't think we'll go all out because it's Fyter Fest. I think the next one I'll maybe go big for will be Full Gear, so maybe just the 4 pay-per-views that AEW really have in real life, we'll go with them. But that's it, short, snappy. Hope you enjoyed it, and as I say, we'll continue to build up the other matches to put on the best card possible for Fyter Fest. So take it easy, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.